Right, well, thank you very much for coming along here today to introduce the Every Belt show, which is coming up on September the 27th at the iconic boxing venue that is the Royal Albert Hall. As you've probably realised by now, we're announcing today a Commonwealth title fight for Daniel against Ebenezer Tetteh of Ghana. Daniel coming into this on the back of his terrific performance against Nathan Gorman and winning the British title, and now going the traditional route, heading, he hopes, towards another belt on his journey towards a potential world title fight before too long. Nicola, who is now the WBO flyweight champion, she is hoping that she's going to be having a unification fight against the IBF champion, Leonela Udica of Argentina, who's due to defend her title shortly against the Mexican who gave Nicola such an excellent fight in her last contest, Isabel Milan. That's going to be her 8th defence, Udica, of the title that she's held now for 5 years. So a very, very experienced opponent potentially for Nicola if it all comes together. And Frank, on paper, back at the Albert Hall, it went so well last time, and it's going to be great to be back in this fantastic venue for boxing.
Well, it's a historical venue, and we've got a history taking place there as far as Nicola's concerned. I think it's the first time a woman has boxed for a world title there, so that in itself is lent itself to it. But we had such a great show there last time, fantastic atmosphere, people get asked us to go back. Obviously Daniel coming off of a fantastic win, so I think we're going to have a really good night. We've got a fantastic undercard, and I'm looking forward to it on the 27th. Friday night, great night out in London, so you can watch the boxing afterwards, and we'll go out and hope to celebrate.
And it's a bill which includes the WBO European Super Featherweight champion Archie Sharp, Denzel Bentley, big hitting middleweight's going to be in action, and also the guy who I'm sure that a lot of people will have been watching his early progress, now 3-0 on BT Sport, Dennis McCann, from a travelling family, lives in Kent, and he really does look an exciting young talent.
Well, he is, there's no doubt about it. He's a big puncher, Dennis McCann. He had his last 17 fights as an amateur, he stopped 17 opponents. So he did well on Saturday. First punch he threw, body shot, he's got great power in his hands. He done what he has to, but he's got a long way to go yet. I don't want to get carried away with him, but you know, he's got something about him that he could become special.
I like to get carried away about him. He looks pretty special to me, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in the ring once again. But before we talk to the two guys up here, Frank, let's just talk about your impressions of Daniel's victory in getting the British title. It was much talked about against Nathan Gorman, and he really did do the business.
Well, for me, that fight was all about composure. It's who could maintain their composure and who could establish their jab. And Daniel did that from the very first bell. You know, he's no slouch, is he, Nathan Gorman? He was coming with an undefeated record, and he's a very, very good boxer and a very, very good mover. But you know, Daniel controlled the fight with a jab. He got clipped himself a couple of times, a couple of good shots, but he took them. But the jab was the key to it, and the composure was the key to it. And I thought it was an excellent win for him. I thought he looks exceptional. And you think, I think one of the, not the youngest, but one of the youngest to win a British heavyweight title. And you think that, you know, you're looking at that and look at the companies, you know, the guys that he's beaten to do it, it tells you he's going to go places.
Is it half a problem now to just control the expectation, because the heavyweight division is very tasty, particularly from a British perspective, and a lot of people will be saying, when's Daniel Dubois going to get a world title shot, never mind a Commonwealth title shot and a British title defence?
Well, you know, his next fight is his 13th fight, and he's won 7 belts. Don't want to tempt fate, but if he beats Ebenezer, he's then won 7 belts in 13 fights. I can't think of too many heavyweights who've gone into 10 rounders or 12 rounders so young in their career. You know, bear in mind he only came off of 7 senior bouts as an amateur. So he's still got a long way. He's still got a long way to go. We know what he's good at doing. There's a couple of things he needs to work on. I'm sure having watched him fight back with Nathan, he'll be doing that, and especially with with his trainer Martin. I think he's doing a fantastic job. He's done a brilliant job, and they work well together. But he's got a way to go yet. I mean, as I say, this is not a as I always say, it's not a 100-yard dash or 100 metres as they do at this day. This is a marathon. But at the end of the day, he's got to be equipped to, when he not just go and fight for the world title, be equipped to win it and defend it. And that's what it's all about. And you've got to remember, and look at him now, look. What's about it? Let's say he's got a audition for a Hollywood movie. He's looking for business, the best dressed heavyweight out there. There's no doubt about it. Old Tyson would be a bit jealous of that. But no, for him, it's all about being professional, it's focusing on the job, and the Commonwealth title is a good belt for him to fight for. It's vacant, so we grabbed it, and hopefully it comes through. It's all, excuse me, for him. It's about winning every belt.
Daniel, how much you enjoy walking around and people saying, there goes the British heavyweight champion? Hold your microphone.
It's on.
It's on. It's on.
It's good, people, that fight, the last fight especially, boosted my profile, and a lot more people, not just in England, but in the world boxing, recognising me, so it's stepping in the right direction.
And as Frank said, at the Albert Hall, you're following in some famous footsteps. Muhammad Ali fought there in an exhibition. Lennox Lewis fought there, the listed champion who's been there, Lloyd Hogan. I mean, you're following some pretty big footsteps.
Yeah, definitely. It's all testament to the hard work I put in, and I want to climb to the top and become the heavyweight champion of the world. And the only way to do that is come through these guys are put in front of me and win well.
What did you think of your performance when you looked back at it, as you presumably did with Martin, looking at what you did well and what you didn't do quite so well? How did you rate your own performance?
I feel the best is yet to come, and it was a good win. And some things I did, what I know I can do well. I pumped the jab out, and I was just very determined. And I think my overall strength and ability, it was too much for me.
Do you think people have underestimated or overlooked, if you like, your boxing ability, which you're working on with Martin? Do you feel that people have made too much of your power and that you're actually a better boxer than sometimes is recognised?
Well, people can think what they want. As long as I don't overlook it, and I've done years and years of groundwork in the amateur boxing gyms, and working on the same technique day in, day out, week in, week out, years and years have gone by, so I know what I can do.
And how much are you enjoying all this? Because as we said, you turned up looking at $1 million today with a smile on your face and giving out the aura of a champion.
Yeah, I'm feeling more and more, getting closer to that goal, and it's good, and it's nice that the hard work I've put in, this is where it's leading to, and I'm on the journey, and I'm loving it.
So Ebenezer Tetteh, we've not seen a deal of him. I gather there's the odd fights on YouTube, but statistics, Frank, they don't lie, do they? 16 stoppage wins and 19 victories and undefeated.
He's a banger, and if he's anything like Latte was, you're going to get some entertainment. He come to fight last night, didn't he? It's a good few rounds that we got with that and Daniel got to him. So, he's fighting next week. He's come through that fight, then we're on, and he brings an undefeated record, and he's stopped 16 out of 19, I think. So he's a puncher.
I think you'll be hoping that he's a little bit less committed than Richard Martin. When he came at you in that fight, he said he must have been at one moment thinking, "What have they got me into here?"
Yeah, exactly. I know I was ready. I trained hard, but if he's another like Latte, I know I've got to sharpen up on a few things, and I could get him out there quicker than I did Latte. So it's all a matter of dedicating myself to training.
Frank, the public are waking up to Daniel, aren't they? You get the impression that, particularly after that last fight, people really say, yeah, this guy's for real, and they want to be there and want to see him.
Well, they do, and he is for real. I mean, I've said from the beginning, I think he's the most exciting young heavyweight I've ever been involved with. And I mean that, he is exciting. He gets in the ring, You feel there's a sense of anticipation in the air. You feel that something's going to happen electric in the air. And once he lets those bombs go, that's what happens. I mean, I really do believe with his attitude, he's got a fantastic attitude towards his training, his dedication, his professionalism, and that counts. A lot of people have talent, but talent only gets you to a certain level. After that, you need the dedication, you need the commitment to the sport, and he has that. And I do believe if he keeps doing what he's doing and keeps learning, I think he's going to be our next world heavyweight champion.
And grounded as well, you know, which is kind of testimony to the influence of his dad, who I know plays a big part, and also to the guys down at the Peacock Gym.
No, he is grounded, and you know, and that's how he should be. He's a man of the people. That's it. He's very quiet, and they don't want to embarrass him talking about it. He does all his talking in the ring. I just want to know the name of the tailor. I want the tailors.
Well, we can. It's probably a good point to say before we talk about specifically about Nicola's fight coming up. The tickets for the Royal Albert Hall are available on Friday, both through Ticketmaster and the Royal Albert Hall. So I think it's held something like 3,500-4,000.
It's Royal Albert Hall was over 5,000.
5,000.
Yeah, over 5,000.
And it's one of the great atmospheres in boxing.
It's a posh York Hall, as I've always said. The atmosphere is unbelievable. We love it. It's a great place to be, and we'll enjoy it. And it's going to be, you know, that atmosphere is going to be electric on the night. I promise you.
A posh York Hall. Yeah. I can feel myself using that line. Now, what about Nicola, our golden girl of British boxing?
Well, we've got to get her back on it. You know, she's came in with again history, 2 gold medals. I mean, it's amazing what she's done, and came into the professional ranks, and we had I think we've had a little bit of a quiet period, but now here's our chance now to get out there. Hopefully, we unify the titles. We get this fight with the IBF champion, and it's again, as I mentioned earlier, going to be a historic night. First time there's been a women's world championship fight at the Royal Albert Hall, so she's created yet again more history. And now she's got to go on something. She's got to go out there, show everybody what she can do as a professional. She's more than capable of doing it. And I want to see her fighting regularly. I want to see her in the ring. I want to see her doing what she's good at doing.
Nicola, how much do you want to do that? I was talking to you a little bit earlier about how much enthusiasm you have at this stage at 36 you are now. How much enthusiasm for the professional game you have? You hear your promoter there saying, Frank saying, yeah, we want to see you get in there and fight regularly. How much do you want to do that?
I really want to do this. It's been my ambition since I turned professional. I want to unify the division. I want to get out there, and I want to box. I want to put on a show. Royal Albert Hall. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. Muhammad Ali was my hero growing up. So to be able to think that I'll be boxing in the same arena as he did is really something special for me.
Does it give you a buzz to think on this occasion, you know, I mean, you've made history in the past, double Olympic gold medalist, but once again, fighting at the Albert Hall, it's a little bit of history.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit of history again, and I plan on winning. I'd love to be able to unify as well. It'll be almost like 2 belts for the price of 1. So I'm just keeping on collecting. I just want to get all the belts, all the titles, and just keep on working my way through each champion and pushing forward.
How do you think you compare as a fighter now in 2019 to the Nicola Adams who was there in London taking the gold medal and again in Rio? How do you compare as a fighter?
Oh, I think I've definitely gained more experience. I'm learning all the time as well in the gym as a pro. I've cut out a lot of my amateur traits that I used to have before, and it's just been a learning curve for me. Sparring the experienced lads in the gym, Kid Galahad, and just learning and gaining experience from what they do in training, and I'm able to ask them questions about, you know, what it's like, what you do when you come up against this situation. You know, it's a massive amount of experience in the gym, and I'm just learning all the time. I think as a boxer, you're always learning. and there's always something new to learn. You could always be more technically skilled, you could always be faster, you could always be stronger, and I think as long as I keep that in mind, I'm always going to be improving my game and just taking it to the next level.
Not everybody watching this and hearing this will necessarily realise that you do actually get into the gym in your practice sessions and you spar the fellas. Now you're used to that. How difficult did the boys in that Winkerbank gym, how difficult did they find it to actually mentally attune themselves to the fact that they were going in there sparring with you?
Yeah, well, I used to spar Kid Galahad as an amateur as well, so I used to spend a few days every week at that gym, so it's almost like a home from home for me. But in the Winkerbank gym, you can put anything up against anybody there, and you know it's all laughing jokes, and you know everybody just gets on with the job.
Now, let's talk about the specifics about you potentially fighting Leonela Udica, the Argentinian, who's held, as I said earlier, the IBF champion now for 5 years. If it is her, what sort of a fight can we anticipate?
I'm ready for a tough fight. She's the champion, so I know she's going to be giving 110% in the ring, as will I. I'll be giving it everything I've got. I've got an A, B, C, D, and E game plan. I'm ready to go. Whatever she throws at me, I've got an answer for, and I'm working hard in the gym to make sure that you know we don't cut any corners. We cover all the bases, so that when I step in the gym, step in the ring, I'm good to go and I can take that belt.
Have you watched her? Have you studied her? Because I mean, potentially this, when she gets in against you, she's the IBF champion. It'll be her 9th title defence. She's got huge experience.
Yeah, I totally understand that, but when she comes in against me, it's going to be a whole new kettle of fish. I've got a lot of experience going into it. I've been boxing since I was 12 years old. I've been to 2 Olympic Games. I've boxed against the best of the best, and I think it's going to be good experience taking into the ring against her. And I know she knows that it's going to be a tough matchup, but I'm hoping to come out on top.
And a chance for you to kind of reconnect with you, and it's a cliche, the old adoring public bit, but I mean you were so much a face of the last 2 Olympic Games, and connecting with that public once again, and being seen widely on BT Sports on our broadcast on that night. I mean, how much are you looking forward to all of that?
Oh, I'm really looking forward to it. I keep getting messages, you know, when you're boxing next, when you are, what town, what city. So now it's really nice to be able to say that I will be fighting on the 27th of September at the Royal Albert Hall, and I just hope everybody can be there to see it. There's going to be a new world champion.
Time to be PT Barnum time, Frank. It's kind of roll up. It's exciting, a very exciting young British heavyweight, and one of the great names of British sport in action as well.
Absolutely, and as I say, it's going to be a great night there. And the undercard, we've got some really good youngsters on this in very good competitive fights. So you'll be there, see some great fights. And if you can't be there, watch it on BT Sport.
And the tickets, as I say, available on Friday, Ticketmaster, and actually at royalalberthall.com. So I don't think they will be slow to go, so I think people better get in there.
Get in there quick, get your ticket, as I say, otherwise you can watch it on TV.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else.